So this is a very different take on tax credit. Let's have a look. The two income tax rates in Ireland in 2023 are given again in the table below. The first 40,000, that's at 20%, and the balance at 40%. So again, what that means, if, for example, I am earning 60,000, part of it, 40, will be taxed at 20%, and whatever is left over, the balance, in this case 20,000, that will be taxed at 40%. Okay, the personal tax credit for an employee in Ireland in 2023 is 3,550. So tax credit is part of your tax. So when you calculate these two values here, it gives you tax. However, you don't have to pay all of that because they give you something that is called tax credit. Basically, they are saying, well, we know that's how much you should pay, but we forgive you part of it. You don't have to pay that part. So in that particular case, the government forgives, or saying don't pay 3,550 out of your tax, just pay the rest. Okay. Find the greatest amount of income an employee can earn before paying any income tax. So that's why I'm saying that's an interesting, very different take. And then they are giving us hint. The lowest income tax rate is 20%. So they are directing us, you know what? Consider only that lowest part. Don't consider the 40%, just look at that first part. So we have to find out how much money can somebody earn before they pay tax. So how do we calculate those taxes? We take income and we multiply by 20% or 0.2, or we can write 20% since it's not yet our final calculation, and that will give us tax. Now, what we know is that from this tax we are getting, we're going to remove 3,550, and whatever is the difference between those two, that will be tax to pay. However, here they are saying, how about the situation that from the tax, when you remove 3,550, you have nothing to pay? So that means that in order for that to happen, the tax have to be 3,550. If that's all that I need to pay, and the government is saying, well, you don't have to pay that money, that means we're paying zero. So we are saying, okay, 3,550 will be the tax, and that tax will be calculated how? 20% multiply by income, isn't it? Our income will be multiplied by 20%, and that should give us 3,550. So how do I find that income? Well, I don't need income multiplied by a number. I want income by itself. How do we eliminate multiplication? We divide, and we divide both sides of the equation. Because 0.2 divided by 0.2, that's 1, and 1 multiplied by income will be income. So if we put that in our calculator, we will get that is 17,750. That means if anybody is earning that, they will not pay tax. Just to make sure, check that 17,750 and multiply that by 20%. If you put that in the calculator, you should get 3,550, and since the tax credit is 3,550, therefore the person pays zero. But again, it was very interesting take on this particular part of the topic.